Thank you, thank you, thank you for your time. Much appreciate on a Saturday morning. And by the way, wasn't it beautiful to walk outside and actually see the blue sky again? See Stone Harbor the way we all know it and love it, versus during the course of the week where it was really gray. Now, it wasn't as bad as I understand from folks up north where it was brown, but still it wasn't the Stone Harbor we all know. So more like, yeah, it was kind of orangish in the mornings. The sun was really odd. But anyway, I'm Rich Fuchs. I'm the president of SHPOA. And again, I want to welcome all of you to the spring, although it's almost summer, members meeting. We have a pretty full agenda, a lot going on, so we'll keep moving along. First order of business is the safety briefing. If we have to escape for any reason, use these exit doors. They'll take you out, I believe, into the street and into the parking lot. Excuse me. And just follow out that way. Don't go out through the back. We'll go out these doors. So we always ask to do that. I had a client in California once, and when you're out there, it was always really cool because before every meeting, they would go through a safety briefing. They always talked about earthquakes and what to do in case of earthquakes. I don't think we have to worry about that, but if for any reason we have to go out the side door, please. So, our agenda. I'll make a few opening remarks. I'll try to keep them brief, especially since my family's here and I know they usually time me on these things. So if I speak too long, I know I'll get signals from the back of the room saying like, we got a few things to talk about, some things that are new this year, and we're going to highlight some of the things that have been going on. A lot's happened in the borough since we all sort of departed last fall. A lot of changes, some new ordinances, some new things we need to focus on, and we'll touch on those really just to remind you that we're not going to discuss them in detail except in our Q&A session, because many of you had questions on many of these issues, but we'll just touch on them briefly. Jeff Woolery, our sustainability chair, is going to provide us an update on the issues around sustainability. I think in particular focusing on the beach renourishment. A lot is going on down there for those of you that have been at the beach, but also a lot of work's been going on the other legs of the stool, the flood management issues, some of the water conservation issues. And believe it or not, they are starting to really look at the question of the bay and is there going to be a need for some form of management, some form of dredge or whatever of the bay. So a lot going on in sustainability, and Jeff has with him Mark de Blasio, who was kind enough to join us, the borough engineer, who will really talk from the borough's perspective about how they're addressing and managing many of these very, very complicated issues. Afterwards, we're going to have a Q&A. We were going to have Mayor Judy Dunhauer, Davies Dunhauer, I guess I just call her Mayor Judy, along with Council President Frank Dallahan and our Council Liaison, Reese Moore. Judy unfortunately had to cancel on us at the last minute, and honestly for a very good reason. A family in Stone Harbor, I may say it wrong, but I think it's Leung, L-U-I-N-G, they own several properties in Stone Harbor, has made a very, very generous donation to the Cape May Regional Health Center up at Courthouse. And so today they're going to rename I believe it's the emergency room area, in honor of Mr. Leung. And they're going to have an unveiling and a presentation, and Mayor Judy has been asked to attend and to provide a proclamation. They're going to have a proclamation of the borough thanking this family for what is an incredible, I think the number is $3 million they donated to the hospital, so an incredibly generous donation. So frankly, folks, I'm thrilled that she's able to attend because it's for a very, very good purpose. But Frank and Reese have agreed to fill her shoes, so we'll have a Q&A where we're going to ask and talk about the issues that you all have been thinking about. We asked you for questions. You gave us lots of questions. We've had many questions, many issues come to us during the course of the year through our inbox. And so we've accumulated all these and try to put them into topical areas. And we're going to touch on as many of them as we can during that session. And I guess best of all is the door prizes. Now, we talked about this and we decided that we weren't going to, we want to get back to normal. We want to get back to things as they were. So as you know, for the last several years, we've been giving out SHPOA memberships. This year, we're doing something a little different. We want to get people back out into the restaurants, get people back out into the shops. So the door prizes will be gift certificates. There will be a $100 gift certificate as first prize, a $50 gift certificate as second prize, and a $25 gift certificate as third prize. And we want you to go out and spend them in Stone Harbor. Go out and use them for the benefit of our community. All right, is it going to work this time, Jeff? It did last time. All right. A few thank yous as always. First Harbor Square Theater, they're always incredibly generous, donating the use of the theater. And so please patronize the theater. Please attend the movies. There's some good movies here. But again, we're very, very grateful because this makes it so much easier for us to do a really good presentation with audio visuals, et cetera, particularly for those of you that have attended our meetings. We've either had them at the schoolhouse or the school gym, or those few years we were out in the basketball court down at the rec center. It doesn't quite get the same feel, but thank you for Harbor Square Theater. Let's see if I can get this to work, Jeff. There we go. As always, Sam Weirman has been very generous in sponsoring the refreshments. So again, Sam is IDE insurance agency here in Stone Harbor. We use them, so the SHPOA does. Please, to the extent you're looking for help or advice on insurance matters, contact Sam. He's a very, very helpful individual. So please, again, if you see Sam, tell him thank you for his support. All right, let's see if we can make this one work. Okay, special thank you to Jay's. As I mentioned, we have a $100 gift certificate, and it was donated by Jay's. So for those of you that dine in Stone Harbor, it's a tough reservation, I know, and that's because it's very, very good quality. But please, thank the people at Jay's if you're there for their generous contribution. They were very, very pleased to be able to do it. So again, special shout out to Jay's on 3rd. All right. I want to introduce my trustees. Before I do that, I want to introduce a few honored guests. We have several members of council that are with us. I see back here in the middle in a really cool hat that I want to steal, Robin Casper. Up here in the front, Bunny Parzich, Frank Dallahan, and Reese Moore. These are the members of your Stone Harbor Council that do a lot of hard work in trying to make Stone Harbor what it is that it is today and what it is that we all want to be. And it's not easy work, I can assure you of that. Having attended many of their meetings and that, they do really, really hard work. So again, take a moment if you can and say thank you for their efforts. So the trustees, across the top, we've kind of organized it by our committees just to make it simple to show. But across the top I have the officers. Each officer is assigned the oversight for one of our committees. So in addition to myself, we have Tony Tenari, who's our solicitor. Heidi Yacker, she is our secretary. Homi Kapadia, he is our chief information officer. His committee is responsible for all the stuff that gets sent out to you. So if you have any comments or any feedback on any of the communications, Homi and the committee members are here, and please provide it to them. And then, excuse me, Paul Grady. Paul is our treasurer, and he's also the chair of our membership committee. Now this is the funkiest bottle I have ever seen. Just notice that? I'm like, and I was messing around with it, I couldn't get it. So if I spill this, my apologies in advance. So on the committees, the Sustainability Committee, in addition to Jeff, this committee has done an enormous amount of work this year. And this is ongoing. This is a constant, this committee probably is the one that does the most work in connection with the borough of anybody because of how important sustainability is to our island. So in addition to Jeff, we have Susan Barrett, Justine Herzog, and Beth Toole. That's our Sustainability Committee. The Borough Engagement Committee is a new committee. We set it up to take advantage of a couple things. Number one, the chair, Chris Yates, has a lot of experience in borough management. Chris was the mayor of a town where he lives in North Jersey, and now I believe he's like the township commissioner or something, but he's very, very active. So he brings a lot of knowledge about how municipalities in New Jersey operate and can bring that to bear. And he's building really strong relationships with the mayor and council and helping provide any input that they seek on, Chris, what are you seeing elsewhere in New Jersey? But in addition to Chris, we have John Knoll and Jim Simpson, who work very closely with him and with the borough to try to really move things forward. Our Communications and Technology Committee, Homi, in addition to him, we have Cynthia Burton. Cynthia is the person that manages all of the council summaries. She organizes the folks, she edits them. As I say every year, I've learned more about English from Cynthia. She worked as a reporter for the Inquirer for many years. I've learned more about English from Cynthia's correcting my communications, I think, than I did in all my years at school. We also have Joe Carlini and Scott Jardin. Scott is the fellow that's really our technology guy in terms of a lot of the websites, a lot of the social media communication, and as we'll show you in a second, he's the guy that manages the webcams. And then finally, the membership committee. In addition to Paul, we have Chuck DeLone, Beth Ann Grieser, Joe Maurer, and Kerry Wendell. And we're going to give a plug to ourselves in a moment for membership. Oh, did I skip over? Holy cow, how did I do that? Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies to community engagement. So, in addition to Heidi, Jay Blackman, Dwight Jensen, Ted Kessner, and Don Otterbein. I have to look at my cards. Somebody stole my community engagement card from me. I don't know, I'll have to check and see. But yeah, so these are the folks that work with the borough on sponsorship of events. For example, we sponsor the Tuesdays Tower Concert every year. We're going to talk in a minute about a new event we're very excited about, which is the SHPOA 5K. So they're the ones that really do a lot of the legwork to put this stuff together. All right. Introducing the webcam. Hopefully you all have seen it. Hopefully you've gone on to the website and have had a look at the webcam. We have a webcam that is basically at the lifeguard station that broadcasts 24/7, 365, 2 views of the beach. We are in the process, thanks to the work of Dwight Jensen, who in addition to being a trustee is the general manager of the iClub. We're in the process of responding to members' asks about a bay cam. So we're going to install in the near future a bay cam that will show the same thing, 24/7, 365 views of the bay. So it would be a great way to get up and have a look at sunsets, see what's going on, see what the weather looks like. Also, there's work around putting weather forecasts, tidal charts, etc., into all these things. So just another way of folks being able to stay in touch with what's going on in Stone Harbor. And unfortunately, right now, if you look at the bay cam, you'll be able to track the progress of the breach renourishment. And I say unfortunately because, yes, they're not often the prettiest sights, but it's a very necessary thing. So what's new? Trash cans. Everybody knows about this, but we wanted to just remind you all that the new trash collection ordinance did go into effect. Requires this type of trash can, basically a trash can that can be attached to the arms that have been put onto the trucks to lift the cans in. There was, I believe, some grace period that the folks from Public Works were accepting the use of the older type of trash cans and still collecting trash. But my understanding is that that grace period, if it really existed, and I think it was probably more just the courtesy of the Public Works workers, that grace period's gone. So if you don't have your new trash cans, you may find your trash not being collected. So to the extent you need to acquire the trash cans, they're readily available. Please get them and help Public Works continue to drive efficiency. It's a big part of their efficiency drive, trying to do some cost control by using this new system. And it was based on the recommendations of a number of individuals who consulted with Public Works on a volunteer basis. Some of them came through contacts with us about how the Public Works can make both more efficiency, but also make it a safer collection, because these gentlemen now don't have to lift those big heavy cans. Instead, they can use the arms. Oh, Park Mobile, that's new. In fact, I was out before the meeting trying to help somebody download the Park Mobile app. The problem is I'm an iPhone user, she's an Android user, so I was lost. But I think we got her sorted. It's a new parking system, basically all online, all on your phone. It replaced the old, what do they call them, the kiosk system, I guess, that we had in the M-Park system. Now, many people said, well, why did you have to get rid of that? The kiosk system was a real problem. Because of the weather, the kiosks were freezing up. Not freezing up, they were jamming up. They were eating people's cards. I think the Public Works Department said, the Public Works Director said, literally, he had one person that was almost continuously going around and servicing these kiosks, getting someone's card from out of the kiosk that got eaten. Somebody didn't get their tag. Something went wrong with the kiosk system. So Park Mobile is used by every other community, at least in South Jersey. And I think, Bunny, you said you were just recently somewhere.
I was in Havertide
Bunny Parzish was in Havertown for something and found that they used Park Mobile too. So she was able to use her Park Mobile app to pay for parking there. So the decision was made to move away from the system that nobody else was using except Stone Harbor and join up with everyone else. So Park Mobile was there. It takes a bit of work to get it set up, but once you get it set up, it's really, really easy to use. And in that regard, oh, there it is. So we have several trustees, myself included, that have agreed to stay around after the meeting and to help people who might have questions. We have Councilman Moore provided some nice little handy cards that we can hand out after the meeting, how to use Park Mobile. I know there was also a postcard that went around to everybody, again, reminding you to set it up and how to use it. So there's been plenty of information out there, and I think, honestly, once you get it set up, you'll find it's very easy to use. One of the other complaints, and I saw this personally myself, and again, because of the work of the Public Works Director, when you're on Park Mobile, you can renew. You can charge another hour. Let's say you bought an hour of parking and you're enjoying your dinner and you decide you want to have a second glass of wine and you don't want to leave yet. Park Mobile will tell you, hey, you need to re-engage. You need to buy more time. You can do that right on your phone. Previously, you would get charged the transaction charge for that renewal. But the Public Works Director worked with Park Mobile, and I can tell you that renewal transaction charge and all future transaction charges for renewals have been eliminated. And I know because it happened to me just Thursday when I parked my car and I had to renew, and I found I only got charged for the parking for the renewal. So again, a little thing that saves a bit of money, but also again shows that the borough is listening and trying to address the concerns that the residents have. All right. What's new? Irrigation. You're all familiar with the new watering ordinance. Basically requiring the installation of drip sprinklers versus jet sprinklers in the area between the curb and the sidewalk. Or you can replace it with stone, something else that doesn't need watering, or you're permitted to hand water if you want. We've had a lot of input on this, and I think we'll probably talk about it a little bit during the Q&A. But I can only tell you from the SHPOA perspective, we were asked what our views are. And as you all know, one of our planks of this, our sustainability stool, is water conservation. There have been analyses that show that up to 90% of the water that was used in watering that area between the sidewalk and the curb ran off into the street because of wind, because of ill set up sprinklers, whatever. But most of the water was wasted. So honestly, when we looked at it, we said, well, if it's going to help, maybe it's small, but it's a step in the right direction in terms of starting to really think about water usage. And there's a lot more to do, folks, around water usage. I think Jeff will touch on this. But we just wanted to point out that this is something that's new. And we know many people have been addressing it. We've had a number of folks that have commented on it. But again, we looked at it and said, okay, if we can help reduce wasting of the water and the stress on the stormwater system, that has to be a plus for the borough overall. All right, here we go. Oh, something we're very excited about. This year, we're going to have, for the first time, a SHPOA 5K race in town, August 20th. It stemmed from a question that was asked by one of the former lifeguards last summer, which is what happened to all the races? We used to always have races almost every weekend in Stone Harbor. There weren't any there. So we said, okay, let's try and come up with one. So we have. Worked very closely with the borough, a lot of cooperation. So there's going to be a 5K race. There's going to be a 1 mile walk and a 1 mile run if you want to run it. There's a QR code. You can find it on the communication that was sent out last night to all members. Come in and register. The beneficiary of the race, we decided as a trustee group that to the extent there was money that was excess surplus from this, we wanted to donate it. We didn't want to keep for SHPOA. We wanted to donate it to good, worthwhile organizations in town. So this year, we decided that the beneficiary of the race is going to be the museum. So all the net proceeds from the race will be donated to the Stone Harbor Museum. We have a very good partnership with them. If you read the materials that we send, the various blasts and beach buzzes, et cetera. You often see a lot of photos of Old Stone Harbor. Those are all provided by the museum. So we're very, very pleased to be able to work with them and to have them benefit from the race. So as I told the council members on Tuesday, get out and start training. Come on out, even if you just walk a mile. There's going to be a t-shirt. It's a very cool little, this little Harbor Hustle decal. That's going to be the t-shirt. You have to register so we know how many we get. So, get your friends, get your family. Let's come out and make it a really strong event and raise a lot of money for the museum. So, membership. I'm going to give you some membership plug very quickly. There's 3,000 homes in Stone Harbor. And as you all know, the membership works on a per home basis. So each home in Stone Harbor is considered a potential member. Now you can have multiple emails and communications sent out to different email addresses within the home, but each home is a member. We have about 40% of the homes in Stone Harbor who are SHPOA members. We'd like to get that number higher. The more members we have, I think the stronger our voices. When you talk to members of council, when you talk to the mayor, they are very interested in what the SHPOA members are saying. And that's why when we get questions in our inbox, they're all shared with Councilman Moore, our liaison, who then communicates that through the borough. The results of the surveys that we're doing, but the monthly surveys, et cetera, we share that, of course, with mayor and council so that they can evaluate what the members are thinking. So the more voices we have, the stronger that evaluation is. So our ask is really simple. If you have friends or neighbors who are owners and aren't a member, ask them to join. It's really simple. Doesn't cost much. Virtually all the money goes toward our projects of the year, the various things that we do to support the borough. So yeah, if you can help us grow our membership, we'd be very appreciative. We need trustees. We have several trustees whose terms will expire in September, and we need new trustees. We've already put out one communication to the members asking if anyone's interested in being a trustee, but I'm going to make another plug here. As it says, check the Beach Buzz, an upcoming beach blast, and if you're interested, put your name in. We're always looking for people. The criteria is simple: energy and enthusiasm and a passion for Stone Harbor. That's what we're really looking for. We're looking for often some specific skills, like we might need somebody that has some legal skills or something, but as a general rule, it's those three things that we look for in a trustee. And then finally, just what did we accomplish? What did we do this year? I'm not going to read all this. It's just sort of a list of some of the things that the various committees have been working on and working with the borough on during the course of the year. So they've been very active. My trustees have put an enormous amount of time in this year to benefit you, and I'm very grateful to them for their time, for their energy, and frankly, most of all, for their enthusiasm. And I guess it's fair to say for putting up with me. So that's my spiel. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff to talk about island sustainability, but before I do so, I think we have a drawing for the third prize.